Yo, what's going on guys? Mad Zach here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new M32 keyboard from Native Instruments. It's basically like their bigger keyboards in terms of feature set. They've just somehow managed to make it quite small, lightweight, and portable. Got some buttons here which give you DAW control, a couple touch strips, and this 32 key synth action keybed, which basically means that it feels pretty nice and you can really rip on it. Because actually, having the keys small makes it so you don't have to move your fingers as much, so you can really like... Anyways, other key points, USB powered, you've got a foot switch. That's pretty much the technical data. So today what we're gonna do is I'm gonna dive into some of the cool features of it, like preset browsing, some smart play features like Arpeggiator, scale, chord, and we'll sort of put together a beat, make some music, have some fun, and see what this thing is all about. So let's do it. Up first, I'm gonna lay down the backbone of a beat. I've got some machina sounds loaded up here, which I'm gonna play on the keyboard. And to create the clip, it's pretty cool because I can just do it all from the controller, which for me is handy because it means I can actually play and loop without having to like stop and go to the computer. So I just turned on the metronome here. I'm going to go over to track mode. And then I can quantize the beat just with this button here, turn off the metronome, and we're off to the races. I want to add a shaker, so I've downloaded some miscellaneous drum sounds from sounds.com. You can create a collection that will be integrated into Complete Control directly. So, you know, normally you would just be browsing your instruments and presets, but now you can also browse samples by tag and collection and stuff, all connected to sounds.com. So we'll go into the plugin here, hit browser. I'm going to select one shots and then select my collection that I've created. And let's find a shaker. Okay, that one's good. And now, this is actually new, this sampler inside Complete Control. And let's see if I can take a look at some of the settings. So I would probably just use it as is, but it's also cool because you can use, kind of like in Machine, you can select, you know, you can adjust the tune, effects, you know, compression. I don't know why you'd need to compress the shaker, but you can do it. And for other sounds, obviously, it's more useful. We make it legato mode. And, you know, I think you get the picture by now. You can adjust all these important parameters of the sample directly from the controller, which is super cool. And let's add a clap. So this is the same as with the shaker. I've got this from sounds.com, so I can browse it directly here. One shots, select my collection, and then find a little snap or something. And that one's nice. And then we'll just lay it down. So I'm gonna go back over to track, make sure I'm in the right octave. Perfect. Quantize it, and let's move on to another sound. I've got FM8 loaded up here, one of their older synths, but it still sounds so sick, and I've got a patch loaded called 808 Bongo, which I'm not even sure is actually a sound on the original 808, but it sounds sick, so. Okay, so let's lay this down. Cool. Starting to sound tight. I'm gonna stop the beat for a second. So when you get the M32, it also comes with some pretty sweet synths that are part of their bigger collection. So Monarch I have loaded up here, which is just like a super fat mono synth. And again, as soon as I have it loaded up, switch over to that track. I can start adjusting the parameters and get it sounding how I want. So I'm gonna keep the filter open while I record the line, and then we'll see how it fits in and what we need to adjust. So. quantize that and come back over to our plugin thing. I know I'm going to add more sounds, and right now the filter is all the way open, so I'm going to make it more muted to open up space for the next sound. Also, Scarby Mark I comes with it, which is like a Rhodes emulation or sample-based instrument. It sounds super tight. And so I have that loaded up here, and I'm just going to play in a little pattern. Quantize. And I actually meant to play it an octave up, so I'll adjust that there. Cool. I'm going to actually now fade out this little blip instrument, or just mute it, so we can have more space to add the next element. So another synth that's super cool, which is included with the keyboard, is called Prism. It's kind of like frequency modulation meets modeling, and it's got a really nice pristine sound. I found a cool preset here called Ethnic Flute. And I wanted to actually take a second to go over some of the Smart Play features. So Smart Play basically just means like keyboard enhanced. So you got scale, chord mode, and arpeggiator, and all of those can be controlled directly from the keyboard. So let's take a look at how that works. First, I'm going to turn on scale. And scale makes it so that any note you hit is going to be locked into a particular scale. You can choose what scale here. So right now I'm changing the root note. So let's keep it on C for now, and you can change the scale type. So let's take a look at major. That's pretty standard. Obviously, that's what it would be anyways, but if I turn it to minor. Okay, and this is a good example as well. So you'll notice that these two notes are the same, and that's because it basically takes any note that is not in the scale, matches it to whichever note next to it is in the scale, and creates a duplicate. So you can really bang around and not hit anything wrong. And if you come over here more to the right, in this scale mode, you have also chord mode, which is pretty cool. The other Smart Play feature that I haven't gone over yet is Arpeggiator. And so you have this button here, Arp, which you can turn on. I use Arpeggiator a lot. So again, you can control, for example, the style of arpeggiation, the rate, sequence. You can add swing, which might be a little bit more noticeable if I go slower. You can choose octaves as well. So let's record something with Prism now. I'm just going to activate this delay chain that I have set up to make it a little more saucy. And let's try this. I'm noticing that Scarby patch, if I pull back the highs a little bit, I think the mix is going to sound better. So what I've done actually is in MIDI mode, I've mapped one of these knobs to control a low-pass filter on that instrument. So I'll go to MIDI and just pull that down to make a little more space. Then of course, in addition to the special Smart Play features, you also have just these two touch strips, which are standard pitch bend and mod wheel. But it's super cool in complement with the arpeggiator because you can do stuff like this. Something that's super cool about the way this is all integrated as well is that you don't just have access to native instruments plugins, you get access to anything that's NKS compatible. So, for example, I have this instrument called Exhale pulled up from a manufacturer called Output, which is like vocal sounds and stuff. Here, I'll show you. It's all these kind of ambiguous vocal floaty things. And so, yeah, let's give this a go and see if I can lay something that works. actually stop the Prism track now by hitting Shift and pressing the big knob so that I can really hear that exhale patch. And up next I have actually a Reactor Patch loaded. And this is something that I found pretty cool, is that through the process of browsing through all these sounds, I'm doing it more based on ear. So I never, for example, would have pulled up this old Reactor Patch, but going through, I just found the perfect sound. It actually looks like it's ancient, you know, by today's GUI standards, but it still sounds sick. And so let's just lay a little solo over, just for fun. Wait for that one. Alright guys, that's a wrap on the video. I hope that you enjoyed the music today, and as a parting note, just wanted to add one more time, the keyboard does come with Ableton Live Lite, Monarch, Reactor Prism, Scarby Mark I, Complete Start, which is a pretty dope free production suite from Native, Machine Essentials, and a sounds.com subscription for 2 months. So it's a lot of stuff that comes with it. It's pretty crazy for this keyboard. And yeah, anyways, I hope that you have an amazing day, and until next time, peace out.